time together. And next week and next couple weeks, I'm going to put together a little thing where, but the only thing we really want for people to do is to, if you have any kind of a testimony about your time together with us, we'd like to have something along that line. And I'll put together just a little blurb and maybe a Google Drive thing where you can drop those into. That's about it, about any kind of a testimony you may be able to live for, 2 or 3 minutes. So anybody got any questions about anything we're doing? I hit the record button. I think we're recording now. And anything about any questions about that kind of stuff before Craig dives into everything?
No, but I feel like it's kind of like the end of camp and we should sing Kumbaya and cry because, we'll miss each other.
All
We
right.
like our little group, so thank you.
Well, we
You know,
hope
we're
that,
very polite today during lunch with Dave. When Dave asked how this was going, you could almost see everybody look at each other. It's like, what should we say here?
Well,
well,
I appreciate the opportunity to be part of it and see how you can create something like this. It's very helpful to
well,
know that we're not the only ones also sort
but
of sometimes
I know Craig and I will
in the
do
dark.
Likewise.
some of our evaluation, and we'll put together some of our evaluation form after the whole thing's over with, and that may include opportunities for maybe some sort of a mastermind or something like that. Who knows? But we're going to have some conversation. This is very much of a kind of a beta thing. Craig and I just wanted to do. So
Appreciate it.
yeah.
Thank you.
So Craig,
And
take it away, my man.
well, I should mention to Brittany that in this lunch with Dave from the School of Podcasting today, people were saying they wanted to have a get together about AI, and it didn't seem like Dave wanted to host it, which is why I said I would if he didn't mind. So if I'm hosting it, that means I can invite anybody.
There you go.
So it's not limited to just School of Podcasting members. So I need to kind of figure out my schedule, but I'm thinking maybe a monthly meetup just to talk about stuff,
That would be great.
AI
Well,
and creators.
as we know, AI changes daily, so it is something we could always try to keep up on that way.
So,
Great
so
idea.
I want to show you a few things that I've discovered, and then just kind of see what you all are thinking, what you might need help with. So Claude had problems today. I don't know if any of you noticed that.
I haven't been on
Yet.
today.
Not
So.
really, I just started
Not
using
yet.
it this afternoon, so.
So they had some sort of a partial outage, and one of the things that it affected was its file system. And so I found this out when I was trying to update one of my write like Craig skills.
Mm-mm.
So, I was working with Claude and doing some writing, and there were some more patterns that I didn't like popped up. Like it was saying, I want you to sit with that for a minute, which I've literally never said in my entire life until right now. And so it's like, okay,
Ponder.
I'm going to say, I want you to ponder it. Or I want you to think about this. I'm not going to say, I want you to sit with this. And so I was updating a few things like that, and then I couldn't save the skill.
Mhm.
And then it said skill not found. And apparently, as it was writing, is when their file system thing went down. And so it's just gone. Now, the good news is it's the same one that I had uploaded into Heartbeat. So I had it. All I needed to do was download it, and there are probably some updates that aren't in there, and re-upload it. But I wanted to show you how to back up your Claude skills.
Can you also change the name of a Claude skill when it's already uploaded, or do you need to download it, re-upload it with a new name file on there?
That is a good question.
Because I was trying to doing that, and I like, how come it'll let me adjust? I can edit certain things, but I can't edit I can't edit the name.
It may not let you, but let's find out. So,
Okay.
Brad, I'm going to share.
Yeah. Okay. I hit the allow button. So
Right.
I'd
Claude.
sing the Jeopardy song for you, but I'm not the
Dude.
singer in the band.
We need that sound bite. So,
Fire alarms, right?
there you go. So I'll just kind of park here. That you don't need to worry about this. This is not important. But you go over to customize, and it will be customized in the web site too. I'm showing you the app, but it's also under
Mm-hmm.
customize on the web. Skills, and then all you have to do is go to the skill, click on it, and then come over here and click on download.
Mhm.
And
Nice.
once you click on download, it will put it in your downloads folder, and then I would take that and put it somewhere where you can remember where you put it. So, and it takes, these aren't big files, so it only takes a few seconds to do each one. But I would do that sooner rather than later. Any skills that you've got, just, it's really simple. Download, save it. I'm going to get a message that says it's already there. And I just did that as a production line, just one right after the other. And the whole thing took less than 5 minutes. Let's find one that I don't care that much about.
So then, Craig, what I'm hearing you say then is that if had you not saved that, your skill that you lost, you would not be able to retrieve that from Claude at all.
Yeah, I think it was just bad timing, like back in the old days when a hard drive would fail at just the wrong time.
Yeah.
So I think, I don't think that affected many people. It's just, if I had not been editing the skill and trying to save it right then, I don't think I would have had the problem.
Yeah.
But it's kind of a good problem, because I had that one backed up, and it made me think, oh, I need to back all these up.
Right. So thank you for sharing that information.
Yeah. So, whoops.
But it can't, there's also other skills that you can upload or get. I don't know where I got these, like a skill creator and some other things.
Yeah.
I can't save those.
No, but because they're going to be already saved, because they're not your skills.
They're ones that were I installed or somebody else installed or
Yeah,
something else.
right.
Okay.
So they're not going to let you back
Okay.
those up. But hopefully, Claude has got those back. Anthropic has got those backed
Okay.
up. So I just want to, let's see, go here. Whoops. This is weird. It does weird stuff, so it won't let me edit this directly at all. So let me try a different one. Yeah, it will not let you edit the name.
Yeah.
So if you want to change the name, I would,
Change the file name, download it, and re-upload it.
yeah, that should work. So
Craig, is that just for skills? What about just regular chats? Does it let you rename like Chat GPT?
you can, yeah. So you just come down here and either right click and do rename, or the 3 dots and do rename.
Okay.
And that's something that I'm trying to do better on, because like this, well, that's not too bad. Some of these, I'm trying to find a really bad example and I can't find one, but often I will have names that don't make any sense. And then when I go back to try to find them later, I can't find them. So it's a really good idea to rename them.
I've done that.
So of course, these are all pretty good names. So it won't take you long to do that, but I would absolutely do that soon. All right, any questions about that? It's not a big deal, but I mean, it's not hard, but it is a big deal. We talked earlier about the expansion in Claude's capacity for project knowledge. So when we first started putting all of this together, if you wanted to do a project, the project file capacity was pretty small. It wouldn't let you add very much data to it. And so that's why we started out drafting in Notebook LM. because this, for example, this is my whole library of podcast transcripts. And it was too big. Claude would not load that, which is how we got started with Notebook LM. But now you can see I've got that and a bunch of other stuff, and I'm at 10% of project capacity.
Wow.
Now,
That's awesome. That's
Mark,
awesome.
it may not take yours. I don't know. I would try it. Because Mark, you've got what?
Craig,
Almost
about how much
600
do you
episodes?
about how much do you have in that 10% there? About
Well,
how much?
so this file is, let's see, I'm looking over on
I mean,
the other
even in terms of
screen.
episodes, is that like 50 episodes or?
No, that's a little over 100, maybe
Okay.
125 episodes.
And your episodes are
Um,
usually about 20 minutes, something like that. Is that right?
yeah, 15, 20 minutes. But to give you an idea, it's 281 pages long,
Oh, wow.
128,000 words.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
So it's pretty big.
So at
And
least
it's still,
theoretically, we could skip the whole notebook
well,
LM.
kind of. I think the Notebook LM is still really good for that mind map
Yeah.
and trying to do that sort of thing. But I think I would skip the Notebook LM drafts.
Okay.
Now, I don't know that I would go back and do all the chapters over again directly in Claude. If you've already run them through Claude, I don't know that that would be beneficial. But what I'm going to do for the rest of my chapters, I am not going to have Notebook LM do the first draft.
All right.
Because Claude is going to do a much better first draft than Notebook LM is. But kind of what Brad was saying earlier, these things change, so we've got to adapt to the capabilities. And Anthropic cut some sort of a deal with SpaceX to get more computing capacity. So they raised everybody's usage limits a couple of days ago. So I think that's a good thing for Claude.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Does that include on
So-
all levels, Craig? I'm on the $25. I'm on the
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah. I think everybody's
Okay.
went up.
All right, good.
Maybe not the free. Now, that's the good thing about recent Claude changes. The bad thing is, I'm not sure about Opus 4.7 yet.
Okay.
This is their newest model, which came out a couple of weeks ago. I'm not so sure. There are times when I have not liked the way it responds. So if you find yourself in that position, you just come here on the little drop down next to where it says the model name, go to more models, and you can still use Opus 4.6. Now, if you're happy with 4.7 or if you're using Sonnet, which is pretty good, you don't need to worry about this. But just if you're thinking, I'm not digging Claude's responses as much as I used to, if you're in 4.7, you might go back to 4.6.
Yeah,
just want
it got stupid. I mean, it was
Now, you saying I'm
simplistic
stupid
and
or
over
that's
redundant. I was just simplistic and over redundant, I would say. I mean, who's stupid? It's a computer.
Yeah, I think they probably tweaked it to be better at some things, and maybe it's not quite as good at some other things.
I thought it was just me.
Craig, I know you've touched on this before, but can you give a little synopsis again of the nuanced difference between Opus and Sonnet? I always get confused about that.
So we're looking at a chatbot that actually has a number of different large language models from the same family underneath it. Think about it as being like a car. You can get a car with a big engine, a medium-sized engine, or a small engine.
Okay.
And it's kind of like that. Which one should you get? It depends on what it is that you're trying to do. So generally speaking, Opus is going to be the most powerful model. All right, that's the Big Mac Daddy model. Sonnet is going to be less capable, but really pretty good for most things. If I was not on the max, the $100 a month max plan, I would probably use Sonnet for a lot of stuff because I don't think I really need Opus for it. So Sonnet is very good. Haiku is not going to be as good, but it's going to be really fast. So if it's small stuff, like if I was asking it to just proofread an email, Haiku would be fine for that. So before I got the $100 a month plan, I spent most of my time in Sonnet and would go to Opus only when I really thought I was doing something difficult. You have to kind of play around to see which one's best. I would, if you're on the $20 a month plan, I would probably make Sonnet the one that I use most of the time and only use Opus if I'm not getting good results from Sonnet.
Okay. I did the 200 a year, which is, I think, is that $20 a month thing.
Yeah.
I guess, Craig, just to kind of put in a little bit of context. So, as far as the book and, having Claude help draft the chapters of the book, are you recommending Opus or Sonnet?
Well, that depends. If you're going to try to do a lot in a short period of time, I would try Sonnet first and see if it's okay, because it's going to consume credits at a slower rate than Opus is. If you're going to do one chapter a day and that's all you're doing with Claude, you're not going to burn through your Opus credits doing that. But like this morning, I had chat, co-work, and code all going at the same time. And if you're going to do a lot, if you're on it all day long, I would probably use Sonnet until it wasn't performing well.
I've already got my first book drive. I was just curious, but then as well as I know you showed us a skill for the copy editor. So are you recommending start with Sonnet?
Yeah, I think Sonnet would probably do a good job with that.
Okay.
What I would do is test Sonnet. It's almost, I don't want to go too far with the car analogy, but drive the 6-cylinder before you buy the V8. If the 6-cylinder performance is fine, everything's fine with it, then don't pay the money for the V8. So it's kind of like that, except you can switch around whenever you want to. And I'm assuming, Brittany, you're on the $20 a month.
Yeah, I just got the Pro. I'm not heavily invested. I'm not the GOAT or the Max yet. So
yeah, I think that the Pro would be fine for most people. If I wasn't on it all day long, I would not have switched to Max. So
I'm kind of still on it on and off because I guess I haven't quite given up on Chat GPT yet like everybody else has. So
and Chat GPT just got better.
Yeah.
I mean, it really got a lot better.
Recently?
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, Doreen.
No, I was going to ask recently, Brittany.
Yeah,
Craig, is that ChatGPT's gotten better recently?
2 weeks ago, maybe 5.5 came out.
Oh, been really good.
Wow.
Now, the downside of ChatGPT is that unless you're on a Teams, enterprise, or education plan, it does not have skills yet. So there's no, you can do a custom GPT. It's not quite the same thing, not quite as seamless as using skills. But if I mean, you're in a never-ending back and forth if you just chase whatever is the best model at the moment. Because in another month it'll be Anthropic again, or it'll be Gemini, or so. They're in this back and forth battle, and they're just gonna keep leapfrogging each other. Yeah. So if you like ChatGPT, there's nothing wrong with ChatGPT. The only downside is you've got to work a little harder to get it to write like you in your voice, which is why we settled on Claude.
Yeah, for this project, I am using Claude, but I still use ChatGPT a lot more for strategy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, ChatGPT is really good. Matter of fact, I went through a really complicated big data analysis of focus groups today using Codex, which is based on ChatGPT, and it was really good. Now, Brittany, one thing you could do if you really like ChatGPT, you could do a lot of this in ChatGPT and then pull it into Claude to get it to write more in your voice,
Yeah.
Hmm.
which minimizes your use of Claude. And if you're doing that, I would probably use Opus until if you run out of, if you run out of usage credits, then maybe you should use Sonnet for some things.
I mean, that's kind of been my approach, kind of chat GPT for like strategy, because it already has a lot of my ideas and stuff, a lot of my working things. And I started using, since you showed us this, then I started creating kind of like my write like me skills, the copy edit skill, which I haven't tried yet. And then a marketing copy editor skill I set up yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, there's no reason. It's not like these are expensive. So, for $20 a month to have an extra model, I mean, that's
Cost
not,
you more to go buy a hardcover book?
yeah, yeah.
Seriously. Yeah.
And that's barely the tip for the Walmart driver these days. So, best thing ever, by the way, Walmart delivery.
Okay.
So,
Well,
yeah. Now, the only downside of using the two different systems is you've got to maintain your projects in two different systems if you wanted to have the context. But once that's set up, that's not a big deal. It's a little bit of work. If you've got it already set up in ChatGPT, I would say give me everything I need to know to put this in a new project, and then copy and paste that into Claude.
Yeah. I've been telling Chat GPT to give me prompts for Claude. I say, okay, now I want to do this. Write me a prompt for Claude to do this activity.
Seems like you're cheating there.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so that's the only downside I would see of using the two different models, but that's really not a big deal. But I'm not going to have Notebook LM draft anything for me anymore. I don't see the point in it.
Awesome. That's awesome. Yeah. Anything can simplify things. I'm all for that.
Yeah, and it not only simplifies, it not only cuts out a step, it's gonna get to where you want to get to much more quickly. That's a terrible sentence, but it's by removing that step, it gets you there faster. So, no, it's a good thing. So I wanted to show you. Did we talk about personal anecdotes yet?
I don't think
I
so.
don't
I'd
think
like,
we have.
and I would like to delve into that because, oh my God, I used a AI term, delve. But
We'll do
uh,
it. We'll do a deep dive.
there you go, deep dive. But yeah, because that's something I've kind of been thinking about it, how I, apply my own personal anecdotes or even anecdotes of other people into my writing, given all this. Yeah, please do.
So here's what I did. This may show us. Yeah, it's not gonna work. So what I did is I asked either Claude, I don't remember which one I used, but I used one of the AIs to create a catalog of personal anecdotes from my full set of episode transcripts.
Wow.
So I gave it this file, which has all of my episodes, and I said, create a table that lists out my personal anecdotes and the topic. Seems like there was something else. I want to see if I can find that file. Sorry, I'm trying to remember where I stored it.
That would come in really handy across 500 plus episodes.
Yes, it
yeah.
would.
I can see the application here all over the place. My goodness. Even if I just created a listing of all the stories that I've told over the years somehow to have them organized, yeah, that would be fantastic.
Yeah, even if it's just to sit down and remember.
Yeah. I mean, over 30, 40 years of sermons that I've got backed up, I got tons of anecdotes and, you know,
Well, give
all that
me
stuff.
a second to see if I can find where I did this, because I did it a little while ago.
Brad, do you have all those sermons on audio, or did you have
I
them
got over the
were your
course of
sermons?
time, I don't, first of all, I don't have them all, but I got a lot of them. A lot of them are on audio. A lot of them are, transcripts. Some of them are just my own handwriting for over the years,
Mhm.
things like that. I've-
So this may or may not work depending upon your handwriting, but if you can scan those or even take pictures of them, AI is not bad at turning that into regular text.
Really? Oh my God. You
Yeah,
could
I mean,
scan handwriting and put it in there?
my handwriting is terrible, and it's not bad at
Wow.
doing that for me.
That's
Yeah.
Wow. I did
impressive.
not know that at all. That is amazing.
Yeah, I mean, you can literally just, you know, either scan it on your scanner or just take pictures of them.
Well,
I have a book of
we've had the
Man.
quotes.
OCR software for a long time.
Yeah. But it's
So,
just so good at figuring out the words from the context,
Hmm.
even when it can't really tell what the word is. Devreen, did you start to?
no, I was just going to ask Mark, what did you mention, Mark, that could do
The
something?
the OCR software, it's
Oh,
optical character recognition, and I could
okay.
scan something and still can on my scanner here,
Mhm.
and then it will read the optical characters and turn it into text. Like Craig said, it's not always that accurate,
Hmm.
but it's
Okay.
a definite start. If I wanted to turn a long document, we wrote our first book, it was written on yellow legal pad. So,
Hmm.
being able to put that into there and make optical character recognition of it, then I could go back through with a word processor, which there was no AI when we were starting, at least not public access when we
Hmm.
were doing that. So
Now,
it was a way to make it happen.
where
That,
the OCR software is going to be better than the AI is if the handwriting's not too bad and you have a lot of this. Because it's specialized, it's going to do a better job than the general tool will. But
Yeah, the pain was just scanning everything.
yeah.
Okay.
So okay, here I did this in Gemini just because I already had my all my episodes in a Google Doc, so I just figured I'd try Gemini. Go away. So I just attached or pointed to the Google Doc with all of my episodes in it. It said create a catalog of all personal anecdotes in this document. Give me a table that briefly
hmm.
describes the anecdote in one column, then the context in which it was used in a second column. And I did say if I use an anecdote more than once, repeat it in separate rows because it could be the same anecdote in different contexts. And so it put out this table. This is my favorite one. I asked Tracy to hide the bag of peanut butter M&Ms because I was eating too many of them, which was followed immediately by me saying, "Hey Tracy, where are the peanut butter M&Ms?"
There you go.
But you can see it's just all of these random little personal stories that we all have and we all embed in our episodes
Yeah.
or in our writings. And who keeps track of all these?
It's really
And
tough. For me, it
yeah,
is. I'll say you that much. For me, it is.
no, I mean, when you my poor doctoral students keep score. It's their cookie eating game when I tell old man stories in seminars,
Uh-oh.
which I probably told that old man story in this group before. So then I exported this out to a Google Sheet, which is just Google spreadsheet. and then exported that to a CSV file because those are nice and compact for putting them into AI, which is no big deal. You just do file. Oh, where is it? Save as, or where's it? Oh, download rather, as a CSV file. And then that's what I put in to Claude's context, to Claude's project. So it was really no big deal. If you've got one or more documents that have a lot of your anecdotes, I do this.
Man, that alone, super helpful.
Well, and what this does is when you're trying to make those chapters of your book yours,
Yeah.
it's not going to try to make up stories.
Well, I think it's
So
kind
I
of
caught
overall,
Claude
that's the
making
overall
stuff
fear of
up.
AI is, making sure it sounds like you instead of a robot, Yeah.
Right, right. And so you could do this with anything. We're doing it with anecdotes here, but it might be, topics or examples from literature, or mark examples from your time as a law enforcement officer, or whatever it might be. Building one or more of these kinds of catalogs and then giving that to Claude or ChatGPT or whatever can make your output a lot better. And it also, if like what I found doing these chapters separately is once or twice it repeated an anecdote, which is okay, maybe, but I didn't really want it to be kind of the opening for two different chapters. So I could tell it go in and find another anecdote. Or I could scan through this document and pick one. Right? And it's not hard to do. I mean, this took 5 minutes,
That's awesome.
6 minutes. Yeah.
Love
You
that.
did this in Gemini.
Yeah, but you could have done it. I could have done it in ChatGPT or Claude or whatever. I did it in Gemini because this was sitting there in a Google Doc.
Would Notebook LM do it?
Yeah, probably. But I would do it in Gemini before I do it in Notebook LM. Now, what might be fun is to take this table and put it into Notebook LM and see how it organizes your anecdotes. I don't know if that'd be useful, but it might be fun. Could be useful.
I'm just thinking about the number of sources that I would have to put in there that are in Notebook LM.
Oh, yeah. If you've already got them in Notebook LM, I'd try it. I mean, what's the worst that's going to happen?
Wouldn't work.
Yeah. I have not played with this yet, but you can now somehow connect in Notebook LM into, let's try this. This was not working. It came out right before our last meeting and it wasn't really working right.
You could probably add multiple notebooks, in which case, if you had two separate topics that you wanted to include, I'm assuming.
Yeah, it looks like you can.
Okay. Wow.
So this is not going to have anything to do with what we're doing, but it's a good example for this. I'm going to let this run and step away for just a minute. Sounds like there might be somebody downstairs.
While he's doing that, I guess, I'll just say, what ways just the group here, have you found this helpful to you, and what kind of where are you at in the process? Are we getting anybody getting close to getting a manuscript together, that kind of thing?
Well, I have a book that I just need to update. And so I've got that uploaded and it's given me some good recommendation. It's now doing it.
Yeah.
carving out the time to do it. So yeah.
I started out to update ours, and so much has changed in 6 years that I'm using it as a source now, and I'm having Claude recommend additions that we put in there. I'm nowhere near a manuscript. I've got a chapter or two fairly well fleshed out. I've got all of the chapter titles and basic outlines for those, but I've got to have some time to sit down with this
Yeah.
and
Also,
extend the period.
Mark, with all the massive amount of content have you found it's been, whether it's through Notebook or through Claude or whatever, have you been able to, whatever, process it? Is the software keeping up with all the content you've done?
I think so. I think so. It's the only experience I have with it. So I don't have the basis of reference that Craig would have for
Yeah.
is this working better than that? But
Right.
it is. And the thing I trust about Notebook LM is it's coming out in our words. It's
Mm.
what we said.
Right.
There's nothing made up in there.
No.
And then I'm copying that output and putting over into Claude and expanding it some, especially like I think it was what Brittany that said a while ago, asking it, what am I missing?
Yeah.
That's good.
Devreen, how you coming on your projects?
Well, between doing my consulting work, I've been getting back into this a little bit, but I'm actually taking a book that was created through like another AI tool from someone and kind of putting it through the ringer here through this process. And mine only thing I need to do really is update regulations, sort of to Mark's point. These were my podcast episodes from 5-6 years ago, so regulations have updated since then. And I've been leveraging Claude to update those regulations and incorporate that into mine.
Will it go through and check and kick out what has been changed? Will it tell you that?
I'm still trying to figure out, because I know that one of our sessions, I believe that Craig had showed us how to redline a document so we could figure out what was changed, Mark. So that I'm kind of playing with, but I don't think I have it down pat yet. But
So I'm stepping into the middle of this, but if you have a document with the prior regulations and a document with the new regulations, Claude Cowork should be pretty good at doing either a red line document or a table of changes.
okay. Oh, Cowork then would be more
Yeah, I
important.
would probably use Cowork because it's better at writing files than regular code or Claude.
Okay.
So it'll give you a Word doc, and you could try it in Claude, just regular Claude chat, and if it works, okay, fine.
Okay.
Now, one downside of Cowork, I think I've mentioned this before, but it's worth repeating, is that unlike chat, the work resides on your computer. So, like if I'm on campus and do something in Cowork, I don't have those sessions on my computer here at home. So with chat, if I do a chat at work and I come home, I've got that chat here. Cowork does not work like that.
Okay.
If you do most of your work on one computer, that's not a big deal, but that was a surprise to me. So you've still got it. You can go back to your work computer or whatever and pull it up. It's not that it's gone. But I did some stuff at the coffee shop, came home, wanted to start working on it again. Well, it wasn't there. It was on my laptop. It wasn't on my desktop. So
Right. That is a good reminder, though. So thank you. I'm making note of that.
So yeah, this connection, Mark, to Notebook worked really well. Sorry, the exterminator's here, so the dog's going to be barking for a while.
Yeah. What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
Who is he exterminating?
Yeah, my
Armadillos.
patience at the moment, but sorry. Somebody started to say something.
Armadillos, I say.
Yeah, I wish. Yeah, so Mark, this would be a thing to try. Well, let's just try that. This is not a great prompt.
Yeah, I've got a feeling that Bachelor's of Science in AI that's going to be offered here, I've got a feeling not only is that learning the architecture, et cetera, but I think the major portion of that is going to be prompt writing.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yep.
Take 3 days to write the prompt and
Oh.
36 minutes to do it.
Well, remember meta prompting, what Brittany was talking about earlier, getting AI to write the prompt for you.
Yes.
That's a really good
Yeah.
technique.
Yeah, that is really good.
So, now this is pretty good. Now, we did not have a ton of examples that fit this context in our episodes, but these are absolutely from our episodes. So, Mark, I would try this.
Craig, would you be able to put the two prompts that you used in these examples in the chat or somewhere that we could access them
Yes, I
for future
can.
reference? Okay, thank you.
Um, oh, God, I have so many chats.
I think it was just the ones in this one chat that you used, I believe, but
Yeah, this is a new one, but I don't
Oh,
think I
okay.
did anything. There we go. Chat. You gotta love Zoom. I've got Zoom on like 3 different windows right now. So I just put it in chat.
Awesome. Thank you.
And there's nothing special about that prompt. So if if you need to tweak it, you wouldn't be breaking anything.
Okay.
And then to add Notebook LM, it's just like or a notebook. You just like you add files. Oh, let's. You want to try something fun?
Always up for fun. Fun ways to exterminate armadillos.
I'll tell you what one of the guys told me when we moved here. He said, you got to kill them.
Well,
It will tear everything up.
I can tell you 22 doesn't do much to them. A 9mm, they fall over. A 270, they're gone. Over here, over there, over there, over there.
Wow.
45.
45 would take them out.
45 does a good job. They fall over right there.
I'm
But I
Wow.
tell you what, if you've got an armadillo trying to run down a hole and he's got half of his body in there,
They're
you
fast.
cannot pull that armadillo out. I don't care what you try.
But you could shoot down the hole, right?
Well, you could shoot him in the rear end, yeah.
Oh,
One guy was
I'm,
trying to
I'm
pull
glad we
one
don't
out.
have armadillo issues around here.
I know.
We'll
It's
send you
safe.
some.
But
Like,
probably
don't
the
send
ground.
this, don't send this recording to animal cruelty because
Oh, that was an anecdote from somebody else's podcast. Wink, wink.
Right. Oh, wow. What is that?
So how did you
Apparently,
create
it
that,
thinks
Craig? You just
it must think I look like the dad from what was the Michael J. Fox sitcom?
Oh, yeah.
Family Ties, right? Or
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember the name. Know what that guy looks like? Brad, you had a serious question. I'm sorry.
Well, that's I like your question. I like your statement better. That was I'm trying to think of that guy's name, but he had a mustache too. I just wonder how you did that. Did that image there? Did you just create
That's
a
neat.
cartoon image that represents these
That
antidotes? That's all you did?
that's it. That's the whole thing.
All right.
Nice.
Now it's kind
So
of
they
this
kind
is
of
kind of
combined all those antidotes, and you had a bunch of them there, didn't you? I mean,
yeah,
you had probably a dozen or more there, right? And you did it just kind of took all those and put them in there. Okay. All right.
and it's kind of interesting because it actually pulled in things from outside the anecdotes. Like I didn't
Hmm.
talk about vibe coding or AI goes to college in any of those. So it went into memory. So if I wanted to do this for real, I would probably take just the table of anecdotes, start a new chat with that, and tell it to only refer to the table, to not refer to its prior knowledge of me.
Hmm. Interesting.
But it's pretty amazing. I mean,
It is.
I've talked about taking the collies out in the dark
Huh.
when we lived in St. Louis, out in the wood, I mean, out in the park.
Huh.
But so I wrote about Ben Franklin's method of achieving moral perfection.
Is that
Is
supposed to be
exactly
Ben
what he
Franklin
called it.
with you there?
Yeah,
Is that,
that's
huh?
Ben. I think that's supposed to be Ben.
All right.
Which, as if I didn't feel old enough. Um, and apparently you can edit these now.
I see.
Oh,
I see Ben
hmm.
Franklin's statue quite often. We've got Franklin College in the little town of Franklin,
Uh,
Indiana, and Franklin College is named for Ben Franklin. This big statue right there. So I go by it all the time.
He
oh,
apparently didn't
wow.
like wearing powdered wigs. I understand.
Oh, who does?
I like powdered donuts. I kind of like.
Yeah.
Good
Well,
reply.
we need Bart here. We could talk about powdered beignets down in South Louisiana.
Um,
Um, so I want to show you how good this has got. I know this is hard for you to see, but this is Ollie the goat visits the vet or something like that. So I wrote a story about how we had a goat that was really in bad shape,
Hmm.
and the vet normally would come out, but there was a big horse show in town. He was doing all the vaccinations and checks for these horses before they could compete, so he couldn't come out. We finally took the goat and put it in the back of my wife's Ford Escape, which is a small SUV, and drove him to the vet. And so that's what this is.
Wow. You probably had to fumigate after that.
Poor guy.
Do you
Crazy.
raise goats?
No, we just had a couple that were companions to the horses. So
Not donkeys?
I knew a guy here locally. My little story in that is a guy here locally would had a mini horse, and he would take it around to like elementary schools and whatnot for
Mhm.
kids to see. He kept it in the back, sort of. It was a small car. He took the back seat out of the small car, like an Escort or whatever it was, and that's how he hauled that horse around. It was always the weirdest
That's
thing. See a
funny.
thing popping out of the hatchback of that car.
that is weird. Um, yeah, I felt very Beverly Hillbillies driving down the road.
He wasn't tied to the top.
The weird thing was that we're in Louisiana, so I'm not sure anybody would have noticed anyway. Uh,
Oh
As
my
it's not a
goodness.
alligator, you're good.
yeah, well, we were driving just a few miles from Duck Dynasty, so it's that
There
kind of
you
a
go.
place. Um,
What a crowd.
yeah, so Mark, going back to the original point, I would definitely try this because I do think Gemini will do a better job than just Notebook LM, although it wouldn't hurt to try just Notebook LM.
Although I was just playing with Gemini and I was just playing with images and said, "Can you animate this?" And they said, "Yes, we can animate this, but you've got to upgrade." And I said, "Well, can you give me a trial or a test? I want to see it because I don't know if I want to like subscribe to it." And they said, "You have to upgrade first." So I'm like back and forth, back and forth. I'm like, really? And like I already subscribed elsewhere, so I can just whatever. I didn't
Yeah.
like the image they came up with anyway.
Yeah,
Chat is fabulous with images, and they are really. I've got some great stuff, and Firefly I've been playing with the images. I did pretty
Like,
good.
Craig, looks like Brittany has her hand up there.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
No, it's okay. I didn't want to cut anybody off. So, Craig, I know we talked a lot about, the book construction, really the contents and the inside. Have you played around with anything, any AI tools or apps on book covers?
Mm.
No, I haven't because, well, for a couple of reasons. First, I am not good at the images. I can get them okay, but I don't have the patience or the skill to really get them down right. But there's a service called Get Covers that
Yet.
I've GET covers that
Okay.
I've used for my podcast artwork, and it's really good and not expensive. So when I get ready to do that, I'm going to use Get Covers.
Well, I had a designer design my last for my first book, do my book cover. But I was just wondering, since AI is kind of out now, were there any AI tools for book covers
I,
specifically?
I'm sure there are,
Their
and I'll do
Book
some
Beam
checking
is another
around.
one
What is it?
called Book Beam,
Book.
BEAM. Book Beam, and I think it's like $125 a year. But with that, it'll also give you all sorts of 3D designs for your book. It looks like it's similar to Get Covers, and put them in any type of situation for you. So that's kind of helpful.
Thank you.
Yeah. And that's designed specifically for authors and promotions and advertising, and they have some animation that goes on with it too. So there are little promo things in it.
Well, that's great. Thank you.
I'll
Yeah.
find it. Book Beam.
But I had good luck with Get Covers. They do a few iterations. But it looked, I will say that the ones they've done for me looked like they were using some AI tools to do it, which was not a big deal because it was for AI Goes to College, so I didn't mind that. But um, I'd pay Nancy. She's really good with the illustrations.
I've been having fun with it. It's pretty easy. I use chat, get my main images there, make some adjustments, and then I'll upload them to others. I'm doing this promo for the Women of the Revolution, and took an image that I found online of this is John Adams, and I wanted him to animate him because he was upset with his wife who wanted him to remember the ladies, and he's like, "Oh no, that's destruction." So I it took the photograph. What was the photograph? It's a painting of John Adams, and it's like him saying like four-letter words without saying four. I mean, it looks like he's really pissed off.
If they ever get the vote.
Right? It took 143 years later. And then
Um,
more than that to get the Fair Credit Act going. That was in the 60s or early 70s, I think it was.
all right.
What what else we got? By having any particular issues on your project you're working on for Craig to address here?
I think I'll end up having more questions as I go along when I get stuck. So
Hmm.
Craig, are you
um,
still making yourself available for kind of
yeah, oh
individual
yeah,
kind of
absolutely,
things? And
absolutely.
so,
I did want to show you. Give me just a second to set this up so everybody can see it. This is I just want to show you how good this is. This is the Claude first draft of my chapter 5. And this is a true story from one of my episodes.
looks just what I'm reading the first couple of paragraphs looks awesome to me. Now, about how many were you shooting for a word count in this chapter or anything along that line?
Yeah, I gave it a range to shoot for in my project instructions, and this came in kind of in the middle of the range. I think I said 2,500 to 3,500 words. But
That's
this,
one chapter, right?
Yeah, that's for one chapter. And so it's not perfect.
But
I
awesome
would
start.
probably, yeah, I probably wouldn't have worded it exactly this way. Um, but it's better than Notebook LM. This word is wrong. But it's pretty good.
Well, it gives you a great way to start, and you just go from there. My gosh, that's
Yeah,
what.
my guess is that a half an hour to an hour would clean this up and make it really good.
And that's the expectation, right? I mean,
Right,
for it to
right.
do about 80, 85%
Well,
or so of the work, and then, you
Yeah,
know,
that's right.
uh,
That's right.
well, you wouldn't want to do. I wouldn't want to put anything out there without proofreading it very carefully, and make sure
mm,
it's uh,
yeah,
ready for publication.
absolutely.
And these are, I know you don't have any way to know this, but these are all out of my episodes. Everything in here
Well,
is something I've talked about.
it's awesome.
And has that been copy edited yet with
No, no,
the,
this is
no,
literally,
okay.
I gave it a just kind of a normal prompt
Mm,
and said, write the chapter. This is what it wrote.
nice.
So it's literally just open it up in Claude. I can show you. Well, maybe not. Let me find Claude. So this is the, oops. I did several chapters. This is the one that I used, and I used the same thing. I just put it in chat. I used the same thing for all of the chapters and just changed the chapter number.
Okay.
So I did like 3 chapters. I wouldn't do more than 2 or 3 chapters in one chat because it'll start to suffer from what we call context rot.
Mhm.
It may start to forget some things. So I don't. The 3 isn't magic. It's just kind of what felt right to me. But I want to show you its thought process. So it's going. First thing it did was read this skill. Then it read the book architecture document, which lays out the structure of the book. And then it dug into the chapter 5 section. Then it referred to the anecdote catalog.
Wow.
Then it searched through the project for mentions of Ben Franklin. It found this more information. So this is really interesting. So it picked up the Ben Franklin and the Angry Driver from the anecdotes catalog. But the anecdote catalog doesn't have enough information for it to write the chapter. So it went and looked at the full set of episodes to pull out the details
Mm.
of these anecdotes.
Oh, wow.
And then as it was putting everything together, it went back and referred to, remember we did the message and angle thing early on? So it aligns with the message and the angle. This I did not ask it to do and was kind of surprised that it did. It went and looked for other chats that might be relevant to this chapter.
Just going up to scroll back up for a second. When it says applying Craig's AIGTC writing style, is that your act like Craig?
Yeah, that's my Right Like Craig for AI Goes to College. And
Oh, AI goes to college. Okay, I got it now.
I'm not sure why it did that. It will use the skills that it thinks it needs to use. So
Okay,
something told it to check this.
I see.
And there, I mean, fortunately, it didn't check the one I've got for my academic writing style. So the AI goes to college and the Live Well and Flourish are pretty similar. The academic is much more formal and stodgy. So I didn't even notice anything about this. And I had played around with chapter 5 earlier, so it found that. And then here's what I thought was really interesting. So once it's got everything it needs, it kind of checked to make sure it was doing everything it should do. It hit all the things that it shouldn't be doing. This is out of my skill. Went back through and looked at the anecdotes. Said, oh, there's a trombone. This was about playing scales. That was already in another chapter, so don't really use it. Open with the angry driver story. So if you haven't looked at, and the same thing would apply to ChatGPT. If you haven't looked at how it thinks about things, it's worth doing every once in a while because it's pretty interesting. Gives you some insights and could improve some of your prompting.
Indeed, yeah.
You know, don't drift into chapter 6 or 7. I've told it I don't want to overplay the pillar architecture building metaphor, so it didn't. Some of its early drafts, it was leaning into that too heavily, and it got a little, I don't know, it just didn't seem right. So it reminded itself of that.
Have you done anything with Claude Design at all?
I have only played with that a little bit to create slides, and it was really good. Yeah, it was
I'm
really
wondering
good.
how it would work for, let's say, a book layout.
I'd try it.
Yeah.
Everything I've read about it has been positive. But see, now after it created the first draft, it went through and checked against the skill to get rid of, check for M dashes. Then there's this pattern in AI writing that says it's not this, it's that. And I don't want that in there. So it went through and checked for those. It checked for triplets. You know how it likes it, AI likes to say it's great, it's awesome, it's fantastic. That kind of thing. I that's in my instructions to avoid those. But if you look at Aristotle, he talks about practice, habit, and being. So it was smart enough to know that this is a necessary triplet because that's what's actually in the source material.
Can you tell it to use several skills in the beginning? Or
Oh,
do you
yeah,
have
yeah. Oh,
okay, so you can say,
absolutely.
here's skill 1, 2, 3, and sort of.
Yep. And you should absolutely do that if you want it, if you want to make sure it will use those skills. So it should infer, it should guess what skills it needs, but you know, I'm not going to trust that.
Yeah.
Craig, can you show from the beginning where you put your transcripts at in order to load them into Claude here? Can you show
Sure.
them, please?
So, yes. So it's a project, and I'm going to create a new project just to show you how this works. I'm going to just call this test project. All right, and so you have really two things that you want to add. One is any set of instructions. Whatever it might be. And you can even work with AI to create these instructions for you in a separate chat. Tell it what you're trying to do, what sort of instructions you should have. and you
could
can
do them.
edit these.
Okay.
So here's maybe a better. All right, give it a length. Okay,
Yeah.
just whatever. And then any files that you want it to refer to, you add here. So, like, I can pull some in. Here are focus groups that were created. I mean, this is not going to make a lot of sense in terms of what I actually
Yeah, I
add.
got you. Yeah.
Oh, wow, Canva. That's interesting. So
But
whatever.
Canva, I guess you technically could put in, if it's Canva, you could put in a graphic, couldn't you, or something like that? I guess.
I don't know. Yeah, that's a good question. I have not noticed that before.
Hmm.
So
Interesting.
anything like that, this is where I put all of my that big file with all my transcripts.
Right.
This is where I put in the architecture of the book. It's where I put in the message and the angle, all of that stuff.
So you put it in a Google Drive folder, and then you put it over here.
Oh, you can, if they're PDF files, you can just upload them. They don't have to be in a Google Drive.
Okay.
It can be anything.
That's just how you organized them yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I had already done that Google Doc, but like if you had a bunch of text files of your transcripts, you just
Yeah.
load those in.
They got like 130 transcripts. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you're going to have to play around to see if it can handle that many files. You may have to combine some of those. I just don't know. I have not tested the limits of it.
Yeah.
So, but this is how you set it up. You can also copy and paste just regular text.
Okay.
And then that becomes the context and main information that it will draw from. Now, this is one little caveat to using Claude first. My tests, it's very good at sticking to the source material. You would want to put that in the instructions. Draw primarily. Or something like that. Because the good thing about Notebook LM is it's only going to pull from your source material. And my tests using Claude directly stuck to the source materials, but I think that's less guaranteed with Claude. So that's something to watch out for.
Mark,
It
you
will
said
or
you
it
had
will
some
not.
issues with that when you played around with this. Is that right, Mark? You said so you had some issues with that.
Well, they had to, or Craig broke my episodes into what, 15 documents to be able to get it to go into Notebook LM because of the size of each one. There was no way to put it in as one document.
No, we couldn't even run when you were doing daily episodes. We couldn't even get 1 year in. So, Mark, this may not work for you, Mark. I don't know. Just going to have to see. But that's one thing I would watch out for. Like I said, I've done like 7 chapters directly from Claude, and I did not notice anything where it was kind of going off the rails. But that's
Yeah,
something you want to watch out for.
I do have a question there.
Sure.
You were talking about how, for lack of a better term, your writing has changed from chapter 1 to chapter 5.
Mm.
And you go across, say you get to the end of 10 chapters or so. Is there a way that you can go in there and have it update its writing style um, for the final document, or is this going to have to go back to each individual
Hmm.
chapter?
I think that's a good question. I think that's going to depend on how long the book is and how much the skill has changed. So if there are a lot of changes and the book is long, I'm not sure that would work well. I would probably break it up into sections. Like I have my book broken down into 3 or 4 sections, 3 or 4 parts. I would
But
probably put,
basically, you're going to rerun the early sections with your current prompts or
yes.
current skills.
Or, and it depends on how you do this. The way I was going to do it is create all of the AI chapters for a section and then go through and edit each one of those chapters and then go through and copy edit them. So that would probably clean up any of the problems through the manual editing. So I
Okay.
don't really know that it would be necessary if you did it that way. But if you did all of the Claude chapters one after another, it's probably worth a round of reapplying the style to the earlier chapters.
Okay.
So it would depend on how you went about your editing. Well, we've got like 10 minutes left. Anything else? So, what I'd like to do for next time, if it's okay with everybody, is primarily make it an ask us anything. So, if you can try to do a little bit between now and then, it doesn't have to be a lot. If I learn something new, I'll mention it, but I really want that last session to be focused on what you all want to learn.
Now, are we also going to do a section on self-publishing?
Yeah, Brad.
Yeah, I can put together, we've been so engrossed with what Craig's been doing and
Hmm.
if you want me to, I've got some materials on that. I can share that as a part of what we're doing for maybe 20, 30 minutes, or we could add a session on later on and maybe
Mm,
kind of
I'm
focus on
good with
that.
that. We've self-published 3 times, and there's some real tricks to it.
Well, Brittany, you've self-published, right?
Yes, through Amazon KDP for my first book.
Probably you two could teach it better than me. I'm learning about it because I'm getting ready to do all that. But, maybe we might want to. What do you guys think? Do you want to take a part of our next session and to work on
Sure.
this part of things, or do you want to add a
Why,
session, or what's the feeling of the group right
why,
now?
why don't we do this, Brad? Why don't you start off with the self-publishing, and it takes however long it takes.
Okay.
And then if we need an ask us anything session after that, we can add a session. Not the
It,
next week, but the week after that. I've got a conference
and why don't we
the week
do
after.
this? Let's make this a real integrated hands-on thing. So Mark, particularly you and Brittany, please bring in your experience because I'm bringing my experience. I've taken a course separate from this one on self-publishing, and I've got a lot of materials there because I'm getting ready to self-publish myself. But if you've done it, Brittany and Mark, you know, bring that to the table, and that would be, I would say, we'd take 30 to 45 minutes and kind of work on that next time. Does that sound fair? Or Brittany and Mark, can you bring something to the table next week?
Bring something to the table.
Yeah,
I'm having
Fried
problem with,
chicken.
I've done it, but I've done the KDP, Amazon, but I'm
right.
now working to get it into bookstores. So Ingram Spark I've done it with Barnes Noble Press, which I didn't want to do this time. And I was doing Ingram Spark, and that's a little bit more of a challenge. So
Well,
I
maybe
think
we
I
could
can,
just have a kind of just a conversation between all of us at various stages of self-publishing and just make that the first part of our conversation next week, and then bring that into follow up with whatever particular issues we have with AI type of things with Craig. Does that sound fair enough, everybody?
Yeah. Can
You know,
use AI for promotion. And how do you
I'll
do
lead it off
that? That
with
would be
I'll
helpful.
lead it off with a short presentation, and that'll lead us because obviously Nancy and Brittany and Mark and Craig have had that experience, and others are working on that, and there's something to be something to be said for it.
That would be great. I don't know anything about publishing,
It's a challenge.
self-publishing, or anything, so I'd love to hear from all of you, whatever you've got.
Yeah.
The if it's a text only book, the
That's easy.
self-publishing with KDP is not all that hard. Getting anybody to pay any attention to it,
That's the hard part.
That's the
yeah,
difficult
that's the
part.
hard part.
Yeah. Right.
And Amazon has done a lot. You should be able to upload videos to like help promote it in on your page, your book page. And they've eliminated that. They eliminated that a couple like probably 2 years ago. So that's hard.
Yeah. And a part of the course I'm taking is all about that marketing piece, and I'll bring some of that to bear too.
It'd be great.
Well, and I want to throw out, especially for the kind of stuff you do, Devreen, a printed book may or may not be the best way to do it. There are other ways to have more dynamic content that you can charge for, just like you do a book.
Courses.
Yeah, so
Or even like an ebook, or like Nancy, you mentioned
an
courses as
ebook.
well.
The
app?
name escapes me. But
You're doing security stuff, right, Devreen?
Yes, financial crime, anti-financial crimes regulations and fraud, all that.
So it's
fun stuff.
regulations. Who's your client?
Well, I mean, that's consulting right now. It's an insurance company that I'm working
So
with.
predominantly corporate, not consumer.
Yes.
Okay.
Mhm. Yeah.
But it's a value ladder, Doreen, you can
Yeah.
can kind of create. So you can kind of go from, like say, if you had a podcast, you go from podcast to book to course to full enterprise consulting. So taking the client on that journey, because the book is their entryway to your expertise.
Yeah.
It's kind of like what I'm doing now with my consulting, like with my project management masterclass, but evolving it beyond to more business execution and strategy. So I have my podcast, and then now I did my podcast subscriptions. I got people paying for the subscriptions. Now I'm doing a book. I have a course, and then that leads to my full consulting packages.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of creating a value ladder to continue to take people on a journey who are following me and investing in my products.
Right. No, that's good. No, that's a really good pipeline. I do have a podcast at this point, and the consulting piece just is brand new. So I'm, kind of
We can all
figuring about that. That's
it
cool.
sounds like there's a lot we
really
can learn from each
exciting.
other.
Yeah, I think
There's
so.
really a lot. We've got a lot going on here. Craig's been presenting a lot of material here, but there's a lot we can learn from each other here, and that's exciting to me. And that could be perhaps the part of maybe some sort of a ongoing mastermind thing if we choose to. That could be that type of thing. So,
Sure. Yeah.
all right. So why don't we got a bit of a plan for next week, 3 o'clock, because technically our last time together, and we'll do the publishing thing, and we'll do the Ask Me Anything regarding AI stuff, and then we'll make a decision, or we'll at least have some conversation about if we do want to have an ongoing piece of this. And then also we want you to do some sort of we want to encourage you to do some sort of a testimonial type of thing, just in case Craig and I want to do something with this down the road here. Is that fair enough, everybody?
We're doing next Friday at 3 o'clock.
Next Friday, 3 o'clock Eastern time.
Gotcha.
Right. That's our last,
Thank you.
the 15th. That's our last technical time, to be together, but we're going to decide then kind of next steps. Fair. Is that fair enough, everybody?
Fair
That
enough.
sounds good.
Okay.
Yeah.
all right.
And I'm going to, when we end here, I'm going to be very careful. I'm going to have Craig help me make sure I don't screw up the recording. Last time, I just one of those dumb things. I just clicked it off. I'm still mad at myself about that. I've only done about 500 Zoom recordings over the years, but oh well. So I apologize
Every click's
about
a
that.
learning lesson, right?
Oh man, I was kicking myself. I was on the phone with Craig for a long time afterwards. Whatever. So Craig, when we're done here, stay on for a minute. I want to make sure I get it right and just double check everything. So.
All right.
Hey, I
Sounds
just
good.
want to say a quick
All right.
thank you to everybody for
Thank
checking
you.
in here. And, we know we had a
Yeah.
couple weeks off there, so and we had
And thanks for accommodating that, by the way.
Oh,
Thank you.
absolutely. Thank you all.
absolutely.
And Craig,
And thanks for the chat messages.
yes, and Craig,
Yes.
just for curiosity's sake here, the cat just showed up.
Good, I've got one right here, so it's good. The kitties are here.
Somehow he shows up at 3:25 to 3:30.
Oh.
Oh,
So
wow.
your little
Well,
feline alarm
if
clock.
it sounds like the cat's out of the bag, so maybe it's time for us to say
Now it's
say
time.
so
The
long
cat is in
here.
the
Great
office.
weekend.
All right.
All right.
See y'all.
Well, blessings,
Have a good
everybody.
weekend,
Craig, stay
guys.
on for a second, so I'll make sure I get this right. Okay.
All right.
See you later,
All right.
everybody.
All right. Have a good weekend.
All right.
Brad, I need to jump off for just a minute, but I'll be right back.
All right.
Sorry about that.
No, you're okay. I just want to make sure I get this right. In the upper right-hand corner where it says record, I do stop recording first, right?
Yep, I would do that.